Welcome everyone. I want to welcome you to my home again. I want to welcome Dr. Drake, members of my class. Tonight my introductory speech is going to be about how to properly sharpen a knife blade. Now, did you know that more injuries are caused by a dull knife blade than by a sharp one? And let me give you a demonstration. When you have a dull blade, you're going to bear down on it, normally causing you to shift the blade and cut your finger, whereas you have a sharp knife, it'll just go right through it. Now, today we're going to demonstrate on how to properly sharpen a knife using a honing steel and an oil stone. But first I want to talk about knife safety and how to properly transfer a knife. Now, you never want to point the knife blade towards you unless you're going to transfer it handle first. And when the person grabs it, they'll say thank you, that's your cue to let go, and then they have it. So when you transfer a knife, you hand it handle first. The transfer word is thank you. Another thing, if you're carrying a knife, you don't want to carry it like this. You want to carry it with the blade out. In case you fall, the blade will more than likely not cut you. But if you're carrying it in any other position, you could fall on the blade, causing harm to you or other people. Now, using a hone is what most of us have in our kitchen, and using this knife block and this knife, you see the people on TV that do them like this, and that's fine if you're a butcher with years of experience. What I like for us to do it here at the Abbott house is to hold the hone up and down like this, 45-degree angle with your blade, and just run it down the knife like this until you get a good edge on it. This here is for butchers, chefs on TV, and by the way, I used to be an apprentice butcher. But just to take all the air out of it, just do it like this, because the knife blade is like the teeth of a comb. When it gets dull, it's like a magnified saw blade. It's got a bunch of teeth on it, and when it gets dull, they get pushed over, and when you sharpen it, you get them all standing up straight. So that's why I recommend when you're honing, just hold it like this and take it down the hone, and you can feel it sharpening that blade when it's done properly. Now, the way I like to sharpen my knives is with an Arkansas stone. And there's a coarse stone and there's a fine stone. So what you want to do is take some oil, saturate your stones. That helps free the particles that come off of the blade, causes less friction. I like to smooth it around. And then when you take your knife, I like to have it out in front of me and push it away from me, usually at a 20 to 15 degree angle. So I'm starting with a point, and I'm pushing it forward. I like to go 3 times one direction, and then 3 times the other direction. Now, I've done this for a while in the Scouts. I've taught many boys how to sharpen knives and axes and so forth. But as you're making this motion at a 15 to 20 degree angle, you can feel that knife, and you can hear it, and you know you're getting a good edge on it. Back and forth 3 times on each side. And then you wipe the oil off. That's got a pretty good edge on it. Then I like to take the fine and really get a good edge, because you're straightening up those teeth, making that a fine edge on there. Knife is just a tool, and you want a sharp tool, because a dull blade will cause more injury than a sharp blade. Now, once again, we've talked about knife safety on how to transfer a knife. We've talked about how to sharpen a knife on a hone. And we've talked about how to use an oil stone on how to sharpen your knife. Okay? So we've discussed how to properly do that, and if you take time and practice, you can really get a good edge on a knife. I like to test the sharpness on my fingernail. Don't do that at home. Now remember, a sharp knife is a safe knife, and as my grandfather used to say, every good man carries a pocket knife. Thank you.